And I don't see nothing wrong with a man listening to his woman to get some advice from her. It's not saying that you're not a man because you're not hearing your woman out or because a woman is telling you what to do. All of us came from a woman. So when I'm hearing Anton speak, which I'm not just keep trying to relate to him, he came from a woman as well. So it's like, are you telling me you never listened to your mom growing up? Because you're saying that a man don't listen to a woman, like that make you less of a man. I'm just confused. So that's why I was just like, balance was right. And I just didn't want to say anything because I'm still confused on the first conversation and I haven't got past that yet.
Hey, this is Raulh of Please Act Right. How many times are these women gonna get on these shows and make complete fools of themselves? Just keep watching. You'll see what I'm talking about.
You come from a man. You come from your daddy's balls. Your woman, the mama is just the egg. You ain't
your mom delivered you. You came from a woman. Your dad did not give birth to you. Your mother.
Your mom was just an incubator. You come from your father. That's where you come from. I don't know. Listen, I can't speak to your personal situation, although you did mention it. I'm not going to speak to your personal situation, but let me help you to understand something.
And here's where the wheels start falling off for her. Notice he said, this is not about you, and I'm not speaking of your personal situation, but watch where she goes with this. Before I get started, I'd like to give a special thanks to Sean Hambrick, Keith Mayberry, and Tanya Johnson for your generous contribution in supporting my channel on Cash App. Please know that your continued support is greatly appreciated. Okay, here we go.
The dudes that came before us, and again, this has nothing to do with you, was simps. They were weak. They said,
I'm not going to, my dad
happy life. I'm not talking about you.
Okay, well, I want to clear that up because my dad wasn't a simp.
Did not. Oh, you're not a good listener, right?
I'm a great listener because this is my first time. This is my first time saying anything back to you. I listened to you earlier and didn't even know. I prefaced
the conversation twice.
He said the dudes before us. He's not talking about her father.
The dudes that came before us. And again, this has nothing to do with you.
So how does she interpret that as him talking about her father? And he said it has nothing to do with you. Now, watch her true self come out from here on.
By saying that I was not referring to you specifically. And then you went to go on about how it is that this is represented. This ain't about you. This is about life.
And I said I wanted to make that clear that my father was not a simp. But it's the same thing you were doing with people earlier. You don't like when somebody do something that you do. You were doing this to people earlier when they were speaking. All I'm saying to you is my father is not a simp. That's not an argument. My father is not a simp. That's all I was saying.
Now, if he was interrupting other people before we came on, then I agree with her on that part. He can't get upset if she's interrupting him now. But her interruption makes no sense because she keeps thinking he's talking about her father being a simp. He's talking about the men that women have dealt with before the men on this panel, not her father. Now watch her go on and on about her father not being a simp.
And how would you know?
I know for a fact my father is not a simp. My father is very intelligent, and my father is
what being intelligent got to do with being a simp?
It doesn't matter. He wasn't a simp. And we're going to leave it at that. And I'm not going to allow you to say my father's a simp because he's not.
I never said that he was. But see,
but you just said, how do I know that?
He never called your father a simp.
No, hold on.
Now the other guy just clarified that he did not call her father a simp, but she just keeps going on and on about it.
Lego, let me cook. You know how I know that your father was possibly a simp?
He was not a simp.
Do you know how I know your father was possibly a simp? Because you automatically triggered by it and nobody called him a simp.
I'm triggered by it because my father was a great man and I don't allow nobody to talk crazy about my father.
But nobody mentioned your father. Nobody mentioned your father. Did anybody mention your father?
Do you have a daughter?
Did anybody mention your father?
Do you have a daughter?
I do.
Okay. If your daughter was sitting on this panel, you would want your daughter to speak highly of you as well. I'm not going to allow nobody to ask my dad.
If nobody asked about me,
period, he's not a simp.
If nobody asked about me, see.
So now we're at the point of what Kevin Samuels kept saying, feeling the need to be right and making a damn fool out of herself in the process. Why is she trying to protect her father when nobody said anything negative about her father? This is beyond embarrassing. But look at her face. She actually thinks she did something worthwhile.
Are you married?
I'm not married, but
I know you're not married.
You don't know that I'm not married.
I do know because I can tell by that badass attitude. listen, you already about to snatch dreams out the air. You're shaking your head. You're talking with your neck and shit. You're mentioning shit that nobody even ever brought up. I never brought up your father. Not once. As a matter of fact, I made sure that you knew. Wait a second. If you be quiet for long enough to let somebody actually talk, you don't have to respond to something that I didn't even say. If you just be quiet for 5 seconds, you will understand the sentiment, and then you probably could get married. You would not be impacted by all of these stories that you heard inside of your salon.
You know what's crazy? You are judging me when you don't even know me.
Sus, you let him
You don't
get
even know
me.
me. You don't
Wait.
even know me.
Hold on, y'all.
Rashawn, don't cape Rashawn.
No, wait.
Stop.
He's the only person on this
I don't
panel
have to
that
know you
I
if
am.
I ask you a
I'm not
specific
married
question.
because I'm not married. I've been engaged three times.
I know there's a lot of voices going on right now, but did you hear what she just said? She said, I've been engaged 3 times. Listen to it again.
I've been engaged three times.
So she's been engaged 3 times. Why didn't she ever make it to the altar? Anybody want to guess why she never made it to the altar? She said she chose to stay single. But listening to her in this video makes me think otherwise. Sounds to me like this woman has a problem with comprehending what's being said and not being able to control herself when she's made up her mind that she heard what she thought she heard. Even though she was told several times she didn't hear what she thought she heard. Did I say that right?
I guarantee you I heard that 1,000 times from a bunch of chicks that was masculine.
But you just said that if I listen, I will be married. That's
yeah, because you ain't quiet enough to actually
understand. Single women saying I've been engaged.
This is what I guarantee you. I guarantee you, after this show, you're gonna have a life reality check because it's not gonna sit well with you. And the reason it's not gonna sit well with you is because you're wrong as you over talking. After you said that you don't over talk, you led with that fake ass femininity when you first came on the panel. I don't over talk. I don't even respond. Now look at you. You ain't out of character. This is who you really are. And all I did was bring it out of you. See, the unique thing about me is that if you sit around me long enough, I'm gonna bring that bullshit up out of you. And you can't sit here and sell me something that ain't real. I knew you wasn't married. And now, because of your behavior, not because of your father, but because of your behavior, I'm questioning whether or not your father is a simp. And the reason I'm questioning whether or not your father is a simp is because there's no way that a dude that's not a simp, daughter is gonna be on here talking that bullshit, leading with that fake ass femininity, and then gonna come on here trying to talk to me like you know what the I don't think you really knew what you was getting yourself into. Because I'm not the one. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I'm not here to sugarcoat. I'm not trying to get on your good side, none of that. So either you can take the advice so that you can actually get the results, and it ain't even got to be the results when it come to marriage. It got to do with how you moving as a woman. That shit is fake. And all I'm doing is calling it out. You expose yourself. So you can take this shit and move differently, or you can continue to lead with that fake ass femininity and not getting the results that you want and lean to your father. Which one you want? How you gonna move? Because all of this is bullshit that you're selling right now. It's fake as fuck.
Notice how she's sitting there being awfully quiet now? Is there a possibility that now she's thought about it and realized that she started an argument over something that she never should have said anything about in the first place? Is she now starting to realize that she just made a fool out of herself? This is exactly what she should have done when he expressed to her several times that he wasn't talking about her or her father.
Look, women don't listen, they interpret. So there was a lot of interpreting that. So ladies, just period, everybody just watching or whatever, understand that a lot of the times when you try to argue with a man or a woman, you're interpreting what somebody said and you just go down a rabbit hole when you don't necessarily need to. We have to, well, y'all have to, because men don't do this, stop interpreting what somebody said. He said 20.
Mr. Lego.
Yeah.
The reality is that I want her to be successful. My general sentiment in life is to have everybody that eventually come in contact with me take something positive out of it. I'm not saying this just because I want to get on her or some shit. I'm saying it because it's real. And I'm not sure if the people that's in her inner circle, and I don't know who's in her inner circle, I'm talking about her friends, any dude that she'd never interacted with. I'm not sure if they've ever actually been honest enough to tell her the truth.
If anybody in her inner circle did ever try to tell her the truth, do you think she would be quiet and listen? More than likely, no. I believe the only reason she's being quiet right now is because she figured out she made a fool out of herself.
Because I'm not emotionally attached to her, or I don't have any personal vendetta, I don't even know her from a can of paint, and she probably don't know me. I can be real. I'ma tell her the truth. That shit is not kosher. That shit is not cool. And she's basically, I never even said anything about her father whatsoever. I prefaced the conversation twice by saying, this is not personal to you. This has nothing to do with you. And then she went on a tangent about her father. Now, what is that supposed to say? What does that communicate?
Women don't listen to interpret.
Because communication is 90% body language. It's 90% of the things that you don't say when you're not supposed to say it. It's not the thing that you're trying to communicate to other people. I pay attention to that shit.
She said she was engaged 3 times, but she chose to stay single. I don't believe her. I believe what happened in her engagements was the same thing that happened in this video. Like the guy said, she played submissive and nice for a while, up until the guys proposed to her. And when something didn't go her way, or she misinterpreted something that was being said because she wasn't listening, what you just witnessed here is what she's like in reality. Loud, wrong, and feeling the need to be right, even while making a complete fool of herself. And that's probably when each one of those guys that she claims proposed to her decided they didn't want to marry her. Now, it's one thing to misinterpret what someone said, but it's a whole nother story when they have to tell you over and over again that's not what they said, but you just keep going on and on about it. Like the saying goes, you don't know who you have until adversity comes. So I'll leave you with the words of the infamous Mark Twain. No amount of evidence will persuade an idiot. So if the person is showing you they're an idiot and you keep arguing with that idiot, what does that make you? Hey, somebody had to tell you, and I love you, so it might as well be me. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell to get notified when I post a new video. I post a new video every week. And in the meantime, will you please act right and don't argue with people who misinterpret what you say. My name is Raulh. See you in another video. So if you enjoyed this video, check out one of these 2 videos right here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. And if you like, you can visit my channel. I have plenty of videos there. Go ahead. Don't be scared.